I'm just so happy that one day I decided to step on the board and everything just like fell into place from there.
I've been whipped, one park by two horses. I can feel it in my head, I can feel it in my nose. Pop me like a bubble wrap, and I knew this was a trap. I fuck around with the real on fire. I close your eyes so I can see your light.
It was weird, like the first time I ever really stood on a skateboard, I just knew that it's what I wanted to do.
But at an early age, my father passed away in my mid-teens, and skateboarding kind of just took over. It was my escape. So skateboarding and skateboarders became a family for me that filled a hole in my life.
Like there was some magic that came with skateboarding, and it's hard to explain. I was just like in love instantly.
I remember like 5th grade, man. They went around the class and they were like, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? I was like, I want to be a skateboarder, or a photographer for skating or something. And she goes, you can't do that. That's not a profession. You can't choose that. You can't do your report on that. Well, fuck you.
A lot of people overlook in skateboarding is that it's really difficult to get really good at it, and like to get good at skateboarding you kind of got to be like crazy, you know what I mean? Like you got to like really fall and eat shit like to get back up and be like, I want to go do that again even though my elbow is bleeding and like, you know, my back hurts. It's just like, it's discipline, you know? It shows like that you're willing to go the extra mile to do this thing because you love it so much, you know what I mean?
I fell in love with it the first time I stepped on it, but then all these little things along the way and goals that you try to reach, you gain more love and respect for it, and you just become invested. It's pretty wild. It's for such a simple thing.
Yeah, I don't know. If I never started skating, I don't know where I'd be. I'd probably be fucking in jail. Even if this is all fucked up in my life, on this end of the spectrum, like I'd go skate and like be with my homies, and you know, at a young age that was like what helped me even. It's to this day.
They don't care if you're black or white or Hispanic. They don't care if you're gay, straight, lesbian, or trans. All they care about is if you could come and skateboard, and it's like a very non-judgmental like community that is like, hey, I skateboard, you skateboard, we both skateboard, we're friends. I think it's rare that you have a community that could bond like that.
Like I know I'm not the only girl who enjoys these things, so it makes me want to like find these girls who have these same passions and just skate with them and just support them, because I feel like they're always in the dark, or they're always alone skateboarding, probably not wanting to like reach out to anyone because they're scared to skate. Scarlett did this thing where she did girls' night, right? And before then, you would see like almost no skateboarders.
So that's how it started out, because I'd been asked for years to do it, but I was too scared. But then it got to a point I got so frustrated skating alone that I just knew I had to take that opportunity and roll with it. So we got 13 girls the first night, that was amazing. And then before you know it, we started getting like women from Buffalo on like the roller derby teams and stuff like that. And it's become this like little beast now, and it's pretty cool.
It's awesome to just have this night to look forward to every month, that you're surrounded by girls who do the same thing as you support one another. And I don't think there's enough things that I go to that really do that.
Ever since Girls Skate Night, I was like, wow, there's actually a lot of girls that skateboard and a lot of girls that like rip it.
Hold me up by oh, help me feel it's up to you at this point. My hands are clean of the blood. Oh, I think I've had enough.
These girls' nights are making like everyone aware, like, hey, this isn't just a guy sport, like girls can do this too. I know just like these girls' nights alone have made me want to just skateboard more and just like help other girls skate, help them to learn how to skate, because I know when I was learning how to skate, it wasn't fun, especially doing it by myself.
They started to come to the latest skate nights. They had so much fun that, oh, this is something I want to do, and then they regularly go to the skate park, and then they get all their little girlfriends to come to the skate park and skate with them, and now they have like these huge little groups, and it's so awesome. Now there's like these little girl like skate posses going around.
When girls see girls skate, it will just make them want to actually do it and like commit to it. And that's why I think Girls Night was just so important, because there has been like an increased number of girls each time I go there. And that just makes me so happy that like more girls are giving it a chance, because it's not an easy sport you can learn overnight. And there are nights where I'm like, I'm done with skateboarding, I quit. But like obviously the next day I'm like, no you're not, like you're not done.
It definitely has enhanced my creativity in that, I mean, I've built my little business model based on skateboarding. People buy the pins because they're made out of recycled skateboards and that they're hand painted and things like that. And that wouldn't have been possible without skateboarding, because it gave me the push I needed to do something about all the ideas in my head.
Just skateboarding, I feel like, grew my mindset to the point where I just felt like I could do whatever I want. Lokewood kind of started off as like our crew of people that we skated with, and then eventually we were like, we should just make some boards. And yeah, business can be stressful, but the fact that we could take something that we love to do and build something from it, a business, I guess you could say, is just absolutely, it's amazing.
I always like wanted to just make things. So what I would do is I would just get Sharpies or like fabric paint, and I would just make my own t-shirts. That's what started Six Divide, I guess, is like just me wanting to create things and like wanting to, I guess, be a part of something is the main thing. Being able to print my own shirts feels even better than like going and getting them made. Like I can like go through the whole process, and like I taught myself how to do everything, and then like being able to just see it from start to finish, like on a piece of paper all the way to like the screen, and then onto the shirt, and then like on someone's body. Like I've seen so many of my shirts like just out in the wild, I guess, like just being at Wegmans or something, and then there's like some kid walking by with like a fucking Six Divide shirt on. I've never met him in my life. I'm like, that's the coolest shit ever. It formed like a community almost. Like I would make t-shirts, and like a lot of my friends like would want them, and like it would be more of a thing where like, you know, like we're like a crew, you know what I mean? Like Six Divide is like a family or like a crew, and like that was always the most important thing to me over money. First time I ever picked up a drill was because I wanted to skate like a real ramp. Like I don't want to skate this falling apart shit at the skate park anymore. Like I'm gonna build my own thing.
Got yourself a hand.
It kind of feels like the city has a war against skateboarders. Like there's this activity that's fun, it's recreational, it's healthy, it's good for your heart, your lungs, your cardio. And it's like an artistic expression at the same time. And the city is like, we don't like this. Like we don't understand it and we want to stop it.
Now that we're adults, you know, you don't want to fuck with the cops, you know. You go to jail. I've gotten arrested and ticketed in Rochester.
You see like a baseball field that's built correctly, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like green grass and like all the lines are painted, the stripes, you know, that's like a nice baseball field. And then on the other hand, you got like a DIY little kid baseball field in the middle of like an actual field, just dirt with like milk crates as like the bases, and like that's what these skate parks are. They're run down and they don't meet the expectations of the people that want to use them, you know what I mean? Like,
but now you're actually starting to see the skate stops, and it's a weird thing for us here in Rochester. And it's sad because, like, yeah, like you were saying, like Pigeon Park, Liberty Pole, those are the OG spots that have been around. I mean, Liberty Pole, that's a monumental spot where people from out of town would come to Rochester to skate, you know, and it's like, it's sad to see that knobbed. It's real sad. Nothing's permanent. Everything can be lifted. You know, you pick up a place like this that there's been a few cats in Rochester, you know, Lokewood crew, Six Divide crew that have done their research, find old warehouse spots and build your own ramps. It's all we can really do.
An analogy that I heard once, which I like, is there was no baseball fields. Where would people play baseball, right? One day, Aaron and I were in Crudco, and the former president of the board, the Friends of the Rock City Skate Park board, Jim Madison, came into the shop, and he started talking to us. So we accepted the challenge in 2008. We started meeting up. We started meeting with the city. And started off, it was just 5 of us, and then eventually we formed an official board, right, to gain credibility with the city and everything. We're an all-voluntary board. Everyone's got jobs, and most of us have families, so the project so far has taken about 10 years. Bunch of issues, but one of the main issues is where we want to build underneath the Frederick Douglass Susan B. Anthony Bridge is not city land, okay? It's Department of Transportation, DOT land, and Highway Department. So we have to coordinate with the city, and then we have to coordinate with the DOT, so it's 2 different levels of people we got to convince, right?
There was a time when, especially in the downtown area within the inner loop, skateboarding was viewed very negatively and seen as not only dangerous to have in interfering with pedestrians, but also causing damage, which it can, you know, to some of the sculptures and railings and different things in the city. I think a lot of the pushback there was related to stereotypes that people had of skateboarders and skateboarding as a sport, and I think, you know, that in their minds it's why would we want to attract more skateboarders down here? We're trying to discourage skateboarders from being in the downtown areas.
So very early on we started meeting with the city. The first commissioner of youth and recreation, he offered up a drainage ditch somewhere, thinking that would be appropriate as an example of what people don't understand about skateboarding. We've also met with the local neighborhood association, and they're excited about the project because part of our design is not only a skate park, but we also want green space. We want to light it up. So it's turning a section of the river, which is also a bike trail, that is scary, and it is now making it a nice place that's going to be inviting to families. Board itself is a few months out from being an official non-for-profit, and the city has announced that they're willing to match up to a little over $1 million. So we get $1 million in grants and federal money, and then we get $1 million from the city. That's $2 million towards a rather large, high-end, quality, destination-level skate park. The city wants the park, so money, that's where we're at. And pretty soon we'll have, like I said, we'll have all these loose ends tightened up and everything will be ready to go, and then it's going to be full steam on fundraising.
A $2 million park, people are going to travel to come skate, 100%.
But it also is going to, we hope, is going to bring some economic viability to businesses in the area, and especially if we're able to host some special events and maybe some competitions there.
If we built something, the kids would come. I grew up in the city, you know what I mean? And I see the kids and all that shit, and they're like having good fun playing ball and shit right now, but eventually they're gonna grow up and they're gonna get influenced to do shit that they're not supposed to. It's like, there's a lot of kids out there that would see that, and you know, it might turn their head the other way. And skateboarding can help you look past that.
Type of things kids could do to help out with the project is to spread the word, talk to their parents about it, educate their family members that the project is going on. Whenever we do fundraisers, attend the fundraisers.
I think it's going to be great, and all the city business owners that want to see people stop skateboarding in the streets, you know, give us a park, and that's where we're going to be.
I mean, there's a lot more kids than there used to be, but for the most part, you go around and you see skateboarders, you've seen that skateboarder somewhere else before, or more likely or not, you've probably skated with that person before. So I like the fact that being here and being a part of it, you kind of knew who each other were, and I always thought that was cool. There's a good community of skateboarders here.
Make art, go skate, and support each other. That's all there is to it.
Skateboarding's never going to go anywhere. It's always going to be there, you know, whether there's a crew of 5 that is still there just ripping, or hundreds of kids out there that are just like in love with skateboarding all over again. It'll always be there. So I don't see any negative to the future of skateboarding in Rochester. It could only be positive. You know, things are good right now. Things have always just sort of been good, you know. Skateboarding, it's a world of kind of drifters, and you know, people come and people go, but the truth is always there, and the people that care are always there.
I'm just so happy that like skateboarding fell into my lap one day, because I think once it does, it doesn't go away. Like that's just a thing that's always going to be there. It's always going to like be a love of yours, and that's definitely a love of mine.
Local and making skateboarding great again.
That's my fucking car! What the fuck are you doing?
Holy fuck. Holy shit.